bears ahead. Honey bears, looks like.
The honey. Bog off. It's the best honey ever. Makes a bear feel good. So bog off. It's ours.
You want some honey? You can't have it. Bees are dead. Bees are dead. Bees! Bees dead. Good thing too, 'cause, honey.
Hello there. A fine day it is. And the finest day for a wee saunter through the trees it is too. Not even any voidwoken left to spoil it. Oh, just the best. Just the bee's knees, really. I've made more money today than in the last month combined. Thanks to a group of magisters who were in such a hurry they didn't have time to haggle. Some sorcerer who fled by earlier, and she paid a handsome toll too. Glory, what a marvellous day. Whoa, not so fast. I do try to be nice about it and all that, but this bridge is Marge's business. Since it is such a fine day, I can let you pass at a discount if you entertain me with tales of valiant voidwoken battle. Otherwise, full price.
Wide-eyed, Marge nods in appreciation at your tale.
Now that is a story. For that, you can pass for a pittance. Over you go, and be sure to appreciate the bewitching views as you cross my magnificent bridge.
I see a cage. And in it,
We are.
is that a demon?
We are the.
In the darkness of the woods, you spot a man overlooking a cage that holds creatures crept from a nightmare. Despite the all-too unsettling nearness of these horrors, he looks poised, regal even, and wholly at ease.
Go on. Step in from the shadows. Let's have a look at the wanderer lost in the woods. There is much weakness in Revelation. What upper hand you had, you've lost.
He eyes you with a sudden intensity, makes you feel like a weight upon a scale, balanced against an unknown measure.
I stand corrected. It is in the Revelation that you show your upper hand.
He sighs, contentedly it seems, darts his eyes to the demons, then back to you.
The roads are rather dusty today, aren't they, Godwoken? May I offer you anything to drink? No. Not for wine, nor for water, but for source.
He pours a glass of wine from a bottle in his greatcoat and drinks it down in one voracious gulp.
To your very good health, I'm sure. Now then, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Jehan. Above all, I am a demon hunter. Underneath it all, I am what those with a flair for hyperbole call a master of the source. Of course you are. That is what Godwoken do. The answer to your next question, by the by, is yes, I will teach you if you do something for me first. Quid pro quo, I'm afraid. A tad vulgar of me, that much I admit, but needs must when the demon drives. It will come as no surprise, I suppose, that it is a demon that drives me to seek your benevolence. I've been hunting him for a long time, and now I've managed to track him down to the island over yonder.
He points towards the northeast. You see nothing in that direction but grey water and a thick mist in which ghoulish shapes seem to form and fade.
I know it's there. My caged guests have confirmed as much. But to my great frustration, I cannot reach my goal. Death fog surrounds the island, and through death fog even I cannot pass. That is where you come in. Of course, you are but a mortal, for now. But you are God-woken as well. Surely you have a few tricks up your sleeve. Consider it a test. Kill the demon, and I will be your teacher. Your hesitance disappoints me. But just in case you cross its path, I will give you fair warning about the beast I stalk. The demon's guise, or vessel, one can't be quite certain, is that of a lizard known only as the Advocate. Like all of his ilk, he is kind, he is charming. He will offer you what you desire most at seemingly no cost at all. There is no such thing as no cost at all. My advice is to strike before he even has a chance to speak. But should you choose to disregard me, should you allow him to parley, all you have to do is say no. Above all else, remember that. Death fog obscures any approach and hangs thick over the collapsed bridge that led to the isle from the Driftwood Road. There is more than the mist alone there, though. Magic that evades my eyes. I also spotted a sloop further down the shoreline. But of course, a quiet afternoon's boating trip will be quite ruined once one hits death fog-shrouded waters.
He smiles, like one would at a child, asking about the birds and the bees.
I know because I've known others like you. Those whose fates are chained, for better or for worse, to that of the gods themselves. I have battled the foe of foes, and conquered it. For a while. I have sat in perfumed gardens with the source herself, drank life from her very lips. I have seen well over 2,000 springs, and will continue to do so until time itself closes its weary eyes. Trust me, I know what you are, and what you can be. It is a place of irony, if you will. Once the site of an academy dedicated to the art of demon hunting, now the remnant of a dream sliced open into nightmare. Rumor has it an exorcism went wrong there long ago, and for a short time a great demon stood unopposed. Had it not been for Dr. Deva, the entirety of Reaper's Coast could have looked like BLOODMOON Island looks today. He contained the demon and its blood spawn to the doomed shores of the isle, surrounded it with death fog, and never looked back. I met him once, during a soiree in Arx. Quite the eccentric is Dr. Deva. But then again,
He looks you up and down.
aren't we all? May you wander in wisdom.
Magisters.
Your powers of observation astonish me.
He spares you but a glance, then turns his focus back on whatever it is he's hiding from.
Best you leave the building, stranger. We have sorcerer trouble. We're trying to talk her down without a fight. It's not going well. God's damn sorcerers.
The best magister is a dead magister. You have my thanks, whoever you are.
She offers you a grateful smile. She gives you a long look, considering the request.
You have proven yourself a friend at least, but you must prove your heart. I'll ask one more thing of you. I left my apprentice, Gwydion Rince, at the Black Pits. He is with his family. They are in danger. Help them, and I will help you. I should be most grateful.
What is that thing?
Lord, please, Lord, spare me. Spare me. It is too much. You cannot come here. I'm not done.
The creature suddenly holds itself around the ears, as though seized by a great pain. Several flapping jaws open and close over a single many-fanged maw, like a taxidermist's experiment.
Go! Why are you here? Why do you come here?
His frantic gaze passes from the blood-stained altar to you. Comprehension suddenly clears the agony from his face.
He wants blood. He wants blood. My lord, I'll give you blood. I'll give it all. I beg you, my lord. Accept.
yield to none.
An ancient altar to the Seven stands alone before you. Faint, comforting heat emanating from the stones themselves calls you forward. The air stirs, as though someone had appeared and taken a seat upon the altar. A voice rises around you, its source unclear. Fractured whispers surround you. God woken. The word flutters against your ear. You are my champion. You cannot fail. A jolting sensation pierces your heart. As the shock fades, you realize you've absorbed a modicum of source, seemingly from the air around you. The whispers shuffle away, and the air shifts. Whatever was here a moment ago is gone now. The altar lies...
A lake of death fog, and the bridge appears to be down.
Someone wants to discourage visitors.
There must be a way across.
A hidden bridge. Clever. Very clever.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. lies ahead looks even less welcoming.
Greetings and salutations. Have no fear, we mean you no harm. No harm, no harm, no harm, no harm, no harm.
The being sniffs the air in your direction and licks his lips. He moves a couple of paces towards you, his eyes hungry and entranced. He abruptly slaps himself in the face and halts his advance.
My manners, master would not be pleased. He awaits you west of here. He will not harm you. Others may. A servant, a loyal servant.
He wrings his hands as he answers you, wrings them bloody.
Loyal and hungry. Go now. Save your questions from master. Spare me your presence.
He shoves his gnarled fist to his maw and bites down on his knuckles. His response reaches your ears as a muffled plea.
A loyal servant. Loyal servant. I have no more answers. Master awaits you to the west. To the west!
The being lurches forward once more. Mid-stride, he catches himself and transforms the movement into a servile bow. He doesn't respond at first. Instead, he stares, consuming you with his eyes. He bites his frayed lower lip, drawing blood.
Master is master. He wants you to go to him, west of here.
He barely seems to notice your repeated question at first. His eyes are dark pools in which your reflection is drowning.
You are so delicious. Please, go west. My master awaits.
The statue gestures towards the heavens, a striking image amid. You are relieved of the part. Before you, as you step closer.
Void woken.
Stand back! Not a foot on these stairs. Whatever words you carry with you, they are warty with futility. I know you for what you are, a mere mouthpiece of deception. It is of no use. The advocate knows the tree belongs to the ring. Oh, I can measure the vile depths of your prevarications by the very pulse of this bleeding forest. You lie. You lie. You lie. Steady as the heart, you lie. It is a strong pulse. The strongest I've ever known. Very well. The blood does not lie. But my warning still stands. Stand back. Not a foot on these stairs. Through fog we ride. Through blood we wade in search of a name. A demon plots, but with his name we will bind him. This saw of bloody branches knows, but will not speak, just yet. No matter. There is no remedy against patience and torture. He is the serpent that speaks with 1,000 tongues, except his own. He is the death of the soul, with a smile and a flourish. Heed my second warning. Shun the advocate, whose very sentence is a sentence.
Your name will have, your back will break.
Sweet thing, succulent thing. We are so pleased to see you, but not as pleased as him.
You look into her eyes and see screams. You hear her gaze upon your body and taste her carnal, violent lust, metallic and sharp as a blade in your mouth.
Go. Speak to the advocate. Make him happy. Bring him pleasure.
The tree is surrounded, and the advocate has us skipping stones.
Shh. Dark words should not sully those honeyed lips. All will be well.
The hulking warrior's eyes dart about in panic, but his voice is loud and strong, even if it does not quite match the movement of his lips.
You!
Has faith in them.
You have been summoned. Go do your duty, now.
How can I tell if he's to be trusted?
You don't need me to tell you that.
Oh, it's you. I don't see why not. I've got business all around the realm, same as you. None of yours, thank you. Bye-bye.
You are here to work. Are you also here to trade? I have much to show. I trade, you have coin. I have wares, nothing else matters. You like your nose? Then do not stick it where it's not welcome. We are where we are meant to be. We will be told when we are meant to be somewhere else. Your friend wanted a new deal. Wanted to renegotiate terms. We have a wager. Some say she succeeds. Some say not. What say you? Good. Tell me, how do you bet? For the half-blood or against? She made a deal with our master, but her reward, her obligation, strictly confidential. But the advocate is quick to remind her, the master does not make deals lightly. The master does not break them. Good. Now, see what happens. Until then, do you wish to trade?
The lizard's eyes are dark as polished coal, void of all light. A faint frost seems to cover the cracked and broken scales around his mouth.
You have a reputation for both malfeasance and chaos. Imagine my surprise when it took you so long to find your way here. I see the miasma surrounding our islet certainly did not hinder you. Well, here you stand, in the flesh, so to speak. And a finer collection of corpusculae I never have seen. I trust you are not opposed to a mutually beneficial accord between civil and gentle persons. Ah, a curious mind. A most glorious creation. I am here at the behest of my master to offer you a simple exchange. An offer of aid for the promise of aid. The epitome of civil reciprocity. You and he possess a common foe. The power behind the Voidwoken has made our lives hell, so to speak. since the Divine Order unleashed death fog against the Black Ring and those darling woodland creatures. And as the gods have shirked their duty, perhaps we could come to a mutually beneficial arrangement pertaining to both of our objectives. Indeed, I can offer you the source channel that you seek forthwith, as a gesture of good faith. Indeed, the creatures that strut about this realm so often do. Very well. I can see them straining against your lips. Unleash them, Godwoken. Ask your questions. Because it is expeditious to do so. My master would have this isle cleared as quickly as possible.
The lizard looks about to make sure no one else can hear, leans in and whispers conspiratorially.
And, if you are to become the new Divine, I would much rather be an ally than a foe. After all, the power you wield will be as a great sword to my master's butter knife. There are legions that would follow you, myself included. Your power would be unfathomable. Assuming, of course, you take it for your own. Why, the only thing you truly desire. Or certainly the only thing you truly need. I will reveal unto you the location of the Council of Seven. My master has dealt with many of your ilk. Small-minded creatures with a hunger for power, out to save themselves or loved ones or the world, some fantasy or another. But all are willing to strike a covenant if it means their success. One was even willing to give up the location of this council to earn my master's boon. How felicitous that you merely have to spill a little blood to earn the same. My master's identity is of no practical consequence in this matter. You need concern yourself with nothing barring the truth that my master always honors his vows. Your smoldering, half-demon pet can attest to that. She is the one that comes to me, helm in hand, in a sad attempt to beg and snivel her way out of previous and quite binding contracts. Alas, I am not at liberty to say more. My master values privacy above all else. He would not take it kindly if he discovered I had been indiscreet. One may ask, one may inquire, but one should be eternally wary of what one demands. And one should heed that twicefold for information like this. There is power in names, power far, far in excess of your mortal limits. I'll not deliver that power unto him. Perhaps you utter some truth. Surely his ear could not be eternally cocked. Very well. The master of the Voidwoken is a creature older than any demon. My master will never speak his true name, but the Black Ring know him as the God King of... To arms! His savage minions have found us! you resumed your senses, Godwoken? It is not too late. My master's offer remains true. Aid for aid. One boon for another. My, what a firm response. Hasty and moronic, but firm. Very well. I suspect I shall still be here when you change your mind. And you will change your mind, Godwoken. Have you resumed your senses, Godwoken? It is not too late. My master's offer remains true. Aid for aid. One boon for another. Indeed, the creatures that strut about this realm so often do. Very well. I can see them straining against your lips. Unleash them, Godwoken. Ask your questions. My master's identity is of no practical consequence in this matter. You need concern yourself with nothing barring the truth that my master always honors his vows. Your smoldering, half-demon pet can attest to that. My master has been troubled by the presence of the Void as it creeps ever forward, encroaching on areas in which he himself once ruled supreme. None more so than this island. There is a tree at this island's core which has special significance to my master. Think of it as hallowed, sacrosanct ground. But the black ring maggots writhe all about its trunk, and you will exterminate these termites. It is simplicity itself, in truth. Have you lost all sense of reason? I will not risk any further attention from his subjects. A most excellent decision. Alas, I fear in my excitement I overspoke and potentially promised more than my meager means are able to provide.
Your ability to channel Source has sadly already passed the limits of my means. Although let it not be said that I ever shirked my duty. If I cannot gift you one boon, I shall gift you another. It would be such a shame to see this Source be simply left languishing in its current vessel after all.
There is neither enigmatic lore nor magical jewel required to open the channels of Source. It is enough to seize it with sufficient force of will, to know that all creatures are nothing but Source and vain hope.
You feel the pull of a far-off connection. You feel the dungeon, the red organic tendrils binding you. Your ears are filled with screams, and you're surprised to find they are your own.
Granting the power that you need, Godwoken. The gift that I have proffered is free, but it is not without a cost. All things exist in balance, so your gain must mean a loss to another. Do not fear for his soul. It is unworthy. It is already damned. No power in this world can save it. This is an act of kindness. A foul creature locked away for his crimes. Who is he? What has he done? These are not relevant. All that matters is that you are presented with an opportunity. Now, do you accept this felicity, or reject my master's grace? Very well. I suspect I shall still be here when you change your mind. And you will change your mind, Godwoken. You damned... At least the vital components have withstood the onslaught. Tell me, do you require further knowledge? Foul wretch! I'll see your blood water the roots of this isle!
and screams and screams and never stops the screams. The roots quake and my bones quiver and still the screaming. The tree, the tree, the tree. The tree's the girl and the girl's the tree. And she screams and screams.
Cornered.
I'll yield to none.
I'll yield to none! Ha!
How fares the hunt, my friend?
He smiles brightly and pulls you in for a short, if warm, embrace.
You've done me proud, Godwoken. Prouder than you could ever realize. I know how twisted the paths can get. How much more alluring the sunny glade than the rock-strewn hollows. But you know it's the darkest roads that lead to light. It will be my honor to teach you. The nature of my lesson, though, might be somewhat different from what you expect. I can deepen your bond with the Source, but you must realize that this bond comes at a cost. All life, after all, sustains itself by consumption. Like the grass feeds the herd, and the herd feeds the hunter, so you must feed, for instance, on these.
He waves a hand to the cage in demonstration.
The very same. For the sum of source that flows through their festering flesh is more than enough to expand the sum that is yours. Through demise, a chance of divinity. Are you ready? Then let us begin.
Jahan's incantations befog your mind. All of you is thumping blood, pumping, pumping, pumping. Then, all you hear, then all that is screaming. From the cage to you, their blood in your ears, screaming. Silence.
That is all. Their suns have set to serve a greater dawn. The world awaits your true awakening. You are very powerful already. A master of the Source. But I did not let this burst of power go to waste. It lies condensed on parchment for you to read and learn.
He hands you a book, hot to the touch, a sparkle with source.
My pleasure. And now that the lesson has ended, there is one more matter I would like to discuss. Offer you a chance to deepen our alliance. You see, the demon that you killed, the Advocate, he had a master. You might say the Advocate compared to his master, like the pussycat compares to the tiger. It is the tiger I am truly hunting. Now don't you worry. I have no intention of sending you after this archdemon. There are few enough Godwoken as it stands for me to force them into any real danger. The one thing I would like you to do for me, though, is to return through the mist to the Isle of Blood and uncover there his name. A demon's true name is its weakness, which is why it basks in being known by 1,000 different aspects of its inmost self. But such dark magic was wrought upon BLOODMOON Island that its inmost self must have been there in its true guise, exposed so that it could wreak ultimate havoc. That is when its name must have been spoken. And when spoken, heard. Over there, among the blood. In the darkness of the ruins, amid the mangled dead, his name still rings, however faint. For once spoken, the echo of a demon's name never truly fades. Return to the island, Godwoken, and listen.
The spirit looks around with wild panic, clawing through its spectral mass with fevered nails.
The demon feeds. The demon feeds from the ring. The demon protects. We must know what the demon protects. The demon has an advocate. The advocate kills. The demon has a secret. We must know the secret.
The tree's spirit embraces its putrid host, an elven ancestor lost to the same demonic disease that infests all of BLOODMOON Island.
Qui manducad omnio murdus ex, it quot potest edse.
Your hand passes through the spirit to rest against the corrupted ancestor. It is rough to the touch, save the pustules dotted across the bark. Yet there is nothing to divine but rough bark and swollen pustules. You cannot say which elf spirit inhabits this tree, or how it came to suffer its second death.
Nin ect mehi, elgo pertidi ect ombre en mihre.
Brother Jakob,
A ghostly aura rises from the butchered corpses, half-formed impressions of panic, fear, and pain. No single voice rises from the cacophony, perhaps thankfully. The spirit of a man in priestly robes drifts from corpse to corpse, head bowed. He murmurs blessings over each of them.
Merciful Seven, smile upon your fallen servants. Brother Ashwell, Brother Triskel, Sister Revria, usher them forth to the Hall of Echoes.
He notices your presence.
Sorcerer, this island is nothing but death. You should leave. I am well versed in such things. I, my brothers and sisters, studied the wondrous, the arcane, the malignant. Easier to fight evil forces when you understand them. Corrupt things have long stalked the fringes of our world. Demons. Here we sought to help those who fell prey to the foul creatures.
He casts another rueful look over the mounds of dead.
No more. The statues guard the vaults where we kept those who were beyond help. No ritual could cleanse them of the dark forces that infested them, so we sealed them away. We did not use such cruelty lightly. There was no other choice. The statues guard the path. They will grant passage to those who sing from the hymn book, from the archives.
The spirit utters a sigh. Even after having parted from his body, he retains a heavy heart.
This island was once a place of learning, of healing. We were Rivellon's sword and shield against the demons who preyed upon the weak. One of our number, a doctor, brought an invalid before us. An elven maiden who had become infested with some presence. It was powerful. Too powerful. So we sealed it and the poor elf it inhabited in our deepest vaults. Sometimes incarceration was the best we could muster in such dire cases. But the doctor who found her was determined to make a name for himself. He attempted a cleansing ritual, but he only served to strengthen the demon's grasp over the elf. The demon possessed him. Soon the whole island was overrun with monstrosities and bathed in blood. Our blood. It's a corrupt place now. No good thing has cause to be here.
The spirit of a black-ringed defiler swings her ghostly blade at invisible foes. She turns and shouts to unseen comrades. Her voice is a guttural snarl, ruined by the effects of death fog. She turns back and cleaves her sword through the air. It makes contact with something. The echo of a bestial roar catches your ear.
The howling. How can you bear it?
The spirit cocks his head and covers his ears, hoping to muffle screams that only he can hear.
The ancestor tree. The screams came to me on the wind, though I am not sure the devil's breath that perturbs the air here can rightly be called wind. But they've been silenced. Well, yes. I have kept my ears to the ground, ghostly they may be. This is an archive, A library devoted to history and scholarship. There must be a record there of the elf that spawned the corrupted tree. I can't say where its entrance lays. The whispers that speak of the archive are all but drowned by my ancestors' grief. A druid. There are too few of us. Elf kind finds value in flesh where memory lingers. I collect memories, yes, but I am more keen on bark and leaf. On the living breeze, not the sleeping past.
What's this? I found something. So much knowledge, so much history. I could get lost in these tomes. What's this? I found something.
The transparent artifact glimmers of its own accord, as if conducting light from another world, another plane of living. As your hand nears it, it shivers and speaks. Your head perks. You know these words. This is the language of demons. Few have heard it spoken aloud.
Connected as one. The past and the present slain. Absolution and redemption await the one whose sins are many.
It's a crystal blade, seemingly separated from its hilt. It's clearly of a kind with the object you recovered from the Surrey tomb. The object repeats the words it previously spoke. It has nothing more to offer.
The hilt of a blade, I do believe. But clearly no ordinary blade.
The spirit urgently passes a hand across the spines, whispering each tome's title as she comes across it. Her hands fan furiously across the tomes, like a pianist's upon the keys. She hushes you with an index finger held to your lips and continues her search.
It's piredit tu tiraka que chilom sin. Iratu besekron.
A moment passes, then you feel it. Clarity.
You speak my name. You know my torture. Please, don't judge me for the sickness my roots have spread. I can be free. My soul cleansed. Naivety, stupidity, call it what you want. I wished to put the source within me to good use, and demonology seemed as good a use as any. Silly me. I meant to summon an imp or two. Instead, I ended up hosting a damned archdemon. The roaring in my head, the craving for living flesh, urges. Good gods, the urges to kill, to hurt. The stronger they became, the harder I fought. And at some point, I was just gone. Deadened, but not dead. And then, awake, on an isle I'd never been, encircled by faces I'd never seen, watched by a man I'd never known. They called him Doctor. He shouted strange words, and the demon bellowed. Then, one by one, they fell. I watched my own hands slaughter them. I tried to resist, but I couldn't. And then a final roar, when the demon rushed away and into the only one still standing. The doctor. That was my last living memory. The demon may be gone, but its disease still infects my roots, birthing evil into the surrounding soil. While it lives, I am still its rotting servant. I've suffered. The Isle has suffered, but you can end it. You awakened me from nightmare with a single utterance, my name. How amazing that a name can wield so much power. Remember this lesson when you leave BLOODMOON Island. The demon blackens another land now. It possesses the very doctor that liberated it. Speak its name, however, and you expose it. You weaken it. You'll know him when you find him. A doctor that accommodates a demon doesn't see patients, only victims. Destroy it, and you free me to the Hall of Echoes. Destroy it, and my roots taint this isle no longer. Now come closer. I'll say the demon's name only once.
The spirit's voice is a harsh whisper.
Adramalik.
The flaming figure emits no heat, yet your skin seems to sizzle if you draw too near. Looking closer, you notice the statue's clerical garb, so similar to that worn by the ghostly priests bonded to the Isle, an unlikely coincidence. The hymn twines around the effigy like a fine thread. Guardian burning bright with sourceful flame, abide the sacred call, reveal the godsless hall. Winged keeper, song doth bid you break. The priest shall scry the demon's lies, the chains await their captive. From stone to dust, from stone to dust. The priest has scried the demon's lies. The spirit of a young robed man paces the chamber anxiously. He sees you approach. A look of trepidation crosses his spectral features.
Did my order send you? To cure the child? Some form of demon seized her and nested inside her mind. She cannot speak or move. We did what we could to help, but we could not risk provoking the beast within. We can find her here, until a way to safely remove the demon could be found. It was my duty to watch over her, but I was never relieved of that duty. She has no family that we know of. All she had was a pet cat. That poor girl's life is drifting past her, thanks to that demon. Her cell is just over there. I can let you in, but are you sure you can help her? What are you going to do? Some of the best minds in Rivellon couldn't help this girl, and you think you can do better than they did. But nobody else is coming to help, are they? I'll let you in, but promise me one thing. Whatever happens, take her away from this place. Far away.
The spirit can't help but smile.
I knew you had good in you, the moment I laid eyes on you. Come, I'll let you in. Take good care of her. Bring her somewhere peaceful. Don't disturb the demon within her. There's no telling what could happen if it breaks free.
hear me? Away! I won't let anyone hurt my mistress anymore. Mistress saved me when I was a kitten. She took me in, fed me and kept me warm. She deserves loyalty. I won't leave her side, not until she wakes. My heart stopped beating and my flesh fell away. No matter, I'm staying here.
The tension eases out from the cat's skeletal form. It sits.
Go on. I'll be watching.
The young girl lies silently on the floor, eyes open and staring. Her only movement is the tiniest rise and fall of her chest. In the deepest black of the girl's pupils, something moves. A gossamer tendril, fleeing deeper inside her like an underwater creature retreating into a cave. Her fingers seem to grip you ever so slightly. The girl's grip tightens. A flush of color spreads across her previously bloodless features. She's grown stronger, strong enough to move, perhaps. The chill of the vault seems even colder for what you have just witnessed.
To lock away the problem is simply to admit failure. What we see here is intellectual defeat, the child of stupidity.
Folks locked away with demons. Demons bound by enchanted chains. There's something barbaric about it all.
Forever in the dark, forever amid the cursed. This was a place of sadism, not salvation.
The blazing blue flame seems to burn your finger the moment you touch the statue, and you yank it back in pain. Somehow, though, your skin is unblemished, yet the discomfort remains. The hymn twines around the effigy like a fine thread. Guardian burning bright with sourceful flame, abide the sacred call, reveal the godsless hall. Winged keeper, song doth bid you break. The priest shall scry the demon's lies, the chains await their captive. From stone to dust, from stone to dust. A trembling spirit wrings his hands, his eyes darting around the room. They settle on you.
What are you doing here? What do you want? You mustn't linger. You mustn't remain. One must not mean harm to do it. Please, go. It's the silver shaft that's missing. There's an anvil where silver can be properly melded. That ought to do it.
His hands shake. He clears his throat.
As a priest, I had a patient. A dastardly demon held him in its grasp. The demon absorbed all his pain, in exchange for his soul. I was certain we'd only diminish the demon by overwhelming my patient with pain. I planned to torture the demon until it gave up its grip over the poor fellow. I began in earnest, but his cries pierced my heart. Even if the treatment could save him, I hadn't the stomach nor the soul for it. So I lied to the others. I told them there was no helping him. I told them to seal us down here, where he could do no harm, where I could guard his prison. Better one soul damned than two. This demon gluts itself on pain. Only the utmost torture would draw him forth. I couldn't do it. I refused to subject myself or my comrades to such barbarism. If you've the stomach for such an ungodly task, I won't keep you from it. Perhaps you could inflict the pain that's needed. But it is a devil's business.
We broke the lever for the door when we locked him inside, so that none would ever attempt to free him. No matter what, the demon itself must not be freed. The horrors he would wreak upon our world.
It's not working. There's something to this I'm not seeing.
You should go from here. This is no place for the living, for the sane. My vigil is eternal. It won't cease until I'm convinced, truly convinced. Something might change for the better. For now, we remain as we must, stuck between action and inaction. Watching, waiting.
His hands shake. He clears his throat.
As a priest, I had a patient. I planned, so I better one soul damned than two. As the lever's fixed, perhaps you could extract him. But you'd have to be able to contain him, defeat him once he'd been loosed. Who am I to say if you're prepared for that? I suppose the alternative is no better than trusting you. Go, do what you can.
Look at you. Handsome. Handsome. Come close, won't you? A little closer still. My, how long it's been. How very, very long it's been. Would you believe Brother Calvin locked me up in here because he said I was possessed by a demon? Just because I don't feel pain. Have you ever heard anything so superstitious? Well, they didn't look like me, did they? Maybe I was a little kooky back then. But you'd be amazed how sobering millennia of imprisonment can be. Praise the Seven, right? Praise the Seven, that's all over.
His mouth twists in an ugly snarl as he stutters that last sentence, and a flicker of something unrecognizable, yet malevolent, flashes across his gaunt face.
You are here to free me, right?
The dwarf's face becomes calm, serene even. He looks into your eyes, tranquil as a baby lamb.
Well then, just destroy the pillars. Nothing to it, for one not wrapped in chains. Don't act like I'm not here. I know you can hear me.
As you strike him, the dwarf's face changes, becomes softer somehow. He almost looks like a different person. When he speaks, his voice is quieter, more reserved.
Yes, please, release me from him. The pain, I can take it, but he can't.
The dwarf's face flickers and changes, becoming hot red and enraged.
What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it now! Stop it and destroy the pillars! You're not going to walk away, are you? Are you? You're not going to walk away, are you? Are you? You're not going to walk away, are you? Are you?
The demon has been defeated at last, but the fellow he possessed had to be sacrificed too.
Liberty or death? He has both now, and he's better off for it.
Poor fella. Still, better freedom than a life beholden to a demon.
Death is preferable to servitude. He's a lucky man.
The spirit of a priest lifts his eyes to yours. When he speaks, he rasps, as if there were dust in his voice.
I watched the gate. Who goes there? I watched the gate. I watched the one who must be watched. I watched the one who should be dead but can only be chained. I watched the gate. You must leave. The gate is locked forever. The lock is broken. The key is thrown away.
The lever part of the lock mechanism seems to be missing. There is no prise with which to open the door. A presence accosts you. You cannot see it, yet know it is there. It is in front of you, then behind, then finally within. You hear its whispers. The master must teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. And then it is gone.
I watched the gate. Who goes there? I watched the gate. Who goes there? You must leave. The one who must be chained will take your soul. Do not let it speak. Do not let it speak to you. No. You must leave. You must not speak to it. You must not speak to the one who must be chained. It will steal your soul. It will steal your very soul. Kill it if you can, but do not let it speak. I beseech you, do not let it speak. The lock will work. The gate will open. I am the key. I am the gate.
I know the weakness of your heart.
A lizard on all fours lies chained in the pit. The raw power you sense within her is barely contained by the spell that binds her.
Do you know who you are, Godwoken? Do you know what you seek? I am you, but greater. I am Godwoken, born to be divine, all-powerful. So powerful the priests imprisoned me here. They feared me, and so they should. I am fearsome, and I am generous. I will grant my powers to the Godwoken who would use them for good. Show me the goodness of your heart, Godwoken, and I will share my power. Take one step closer to divinity. Set me free. I know you. You are better than this. Show me the goodness of your heart, Godwoken, and I will share my power. Set me free.
The lizard closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and begins to speak inside your head. Her voice transfixes you in a warm and pleasant way, but soon the treacle in her words begins to nauseate.
I know who you are. I know what you want. I know your good heart. I know you want to set me free.
With a jolt, she is repulsed. When next she speaks, it is through gritted teeth.
I know who you are. I know what you want. You will not get it, for you are nothing. Nothing. Get out!
I watched the gate, but the one who should be dead is dead. I'll watch the gate no more.
It is a dark thing to contemplate a demon's name. Perhaps you can shed light on the matter.
Jahan looks at you utterly flabbergasted, but soon an air of serenity descends upon him, that of a chess player overlooking the board.
A Dramalik. You have to admire his cunning. To think that in his guise of Deva, he and I shared the finest wines in the realm. Stories of the women we have loved. Thank you, Godwoken. You have done me an unparalleled service, and you've quite humbled me at the same time. You must go your path, I mine, so that I may confront the archdemon in his lair, in the great city of Arx. Please accept this token of gratitude, and fare thee well.